I mean, I just love these packages.
Look at that guy.
Look
that
at
guy
this.
is still out there. We've been worried about him, but that guy sent a lot of stogies. This has lung cancer written all over it. And I'm down to clown, that's for sure.
That's enough for a whole week.
And then he also sent this.
Oh, my God.
So these were fantastic, by the way. If you're not sure about cigars, these are great, and it's a great price point.
Wow.
But the price went through the roof.
That guy is fantastic. That's who's fantastic.
These smoke like a $12 or $15 cigar, and it's just a matter of time before the Rocky Patels become 150 a box. They went from 75 to 100 to 110, and that's a very generous gift. So we have lung cancer.
Very nice.
And heart disease.
Colon cancer.
We've got it all covered here.
I want to thank the audience.
Thanks
I feel
to
at home.
Yeah.
Saturated
my
fat.
wife tried to poison me.
Thanks to the Live from Studio 6B audience. Well, I just love coming in the studio, though, and seeing that box sitting on the counter. It's like a thing now.
I know. Keep it up.
They're
gonna start charging me at the office now for delivery receivables.
It's just can't thank you enough.
Really so humble.
We have a great audience. The few that watch it, it's great.
Just I don't know. It's hard to explain. So thank you very much to everybody. That guy for this package today and yesterday. We got all the Bucky stuff here. I got this guy here.
You got your beaver.
So, it was funny. I never heard of Bucky's, and then the other day in my news feed, a guy was preaching in a Bucky's down in Mississippi.
There you go.
And the cops ushered him out. But if a guy,
so much for doing a show there, then.
Yeah,
we're doing the same thing.
We were trying to think of whether we could do a show at a Bucky's. I guess not.
If some lady in a burqa or some guy in a turban was doing it, they'd just be like, "Everyone, leave him alone."
Yeah, well, that's we can. Well, I can tell you one place we're not going to be doing any shows come next year. It looks like. Who knows? We'll still hold out hope. I'm going to give a full-fledged endorsement to Eric Adams and have him on the show about 9 times.
Yeah, right. Really?
Would be New York City because
eat the sausage. He didn't eat the sausage.
Well, it just. I mean, to be serious for a second, it just. What's amazing about when you look at the data, seemingly. He didn't win with lower income. He didn't win with even.
He killed so many grannies, and he was never held accountable.
He won with college-educated white liberal women.
Of course, that's the indoctrination plant for communism.
Yeah, and I mean, it just shows you what's going on in the education system. That we continue to import the third world and then teach them to hate America. And this is how you get a guy like this to be the Democrat nominee for mayor of New York City.
Defund every college. That's it. Let them all work on their own. Let every single one of them survive on their own with the free market. Do not give another college another penny. Not one.
Fuck.
Larry Summers was Bill Clinton's Treasury Secretary. Larry Summers is a Democrat his entire life, worked for Bill Clinton, advised Joe Biden, certainly like I said, just a Democrat, as we know. We all know Larry Summers back in the Clinton days. He's now a university professor at he's a Charles W. Eliot University professor and president emeritus at Harvard. He was the Secretary of Treasury, like I said, for President Clinton, Director of NEC for President Obama, advised Joe Biden. He says this today: I am profoundly alarmed about the future of the DNC in the country by yesterday's New York City anointment of a candidate who failed to disavow the globalize the infada slogan and advocated Trotsky-like economic policies. I'm alarmed about the future of the DNC and the country. I fear it is evidence that our party is following the most problematic aspects of Britain's Labour Party. It didn't work there. It won't work here. Harvard and other universities' moral weakness after October 7th in condoning hateful, anti-Israeli, and even anti-Semitic rhetoric and activity opened the Overton window in ways that contributed to yesterday's outcome. I hope candidate Mandani, who showed great ability to learn and adapt during the campaign, will continue to evolve in ways that provide much needed assurance to people committed to a free from prejudice market economy as an American ideal. I wouldn't hold my breath, Larry. An important task for Mandani now is to provide reassurance that his moral energy and formidable political skills can be productively directed for the city of New York at this difficult moment. Well, I wouldn't hold my breath for that either. But the first half of that I thought was stunning, coming from someone like Larry Summers.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got to be honest with you. Nothing stuns me anymore. I just.
Well, the rest of the party's falling behind him like he's the next coming of Barack Obama.
I know. It's just amazing how they serve these people up to us like he's the next big thing.
Well, they're all in on him. They're all in on everything and everything he stands for, by the way, which if you don't know some of the things some of the things he campaigned on. Well, let me pull them up for you.
How about supermarket, state-owned restrictions? All of it. It's like it's mind-boggling. I can't believe what I'm watching here.
It is mind-boggling.
Here's what he said during the campaign. We will support existing decarceral legislation that will, 1, end cash bail, repeal the walking while trans ban, decriminalize sex work, legalize marijuana. That sounds like it's going to be good. Hookers and weed. Let's go. Permit safe injection sites. Oh,
that sounds charming. Kids, come on.
Restrict solitary confinement. Enact elder parole. Re-enfranchise incarcerated New Yorkers. We will also introduce new decarceral legislation to decriminalize simple drug possession, repeal all mandatory minimum sentences, reduce maximum sentences with retroactive effect. So basically, free all the criminals. I'll just put it into plain words. Repeal felony bump-up statutes, repeal sentencing enhancements, and cooperation with ICE. Sounds like real paradise in New York City's coming.
As if New York City is in a mess as it is now. I used to go there 15 Sundays a year, maybe 20, just catch a matinee, brunch, me and the wife stroll around. I have no interest in going there anymore.
Why would you?
It's disgusting.
TikTok helped New York City elect a socialist who wants city-run grocery stores. This is Mark Dubowitz on X. Pushes tax hikes and rent control, driving the wealth flight and worsening the housing shortages. He wants to defund the police. I say he wants to get rid of the police almost in total. I think is probably a more accurate way to say it.
Idea.
Yeah.
Uses globalize the Intifada, a terror campaign slogan, accuses the U.S. and Israel of genocide. This is also someone who said if Bibi Netanyahu ever came to New York City, he'd have him arrested.
That'd go over well.
And so I retweeted that, and I said, New York City will soon prove once again that socialism is incompatible with America. Not only America, but it's incompatible with the Declaration of Independence, with the idea of individual liberty, private property rights, individual responsibility. We choose the individual, they choose the state. We choose free thinking, they demand conformity. You cannot share a city, a state, or a country with this. And I think every word of that is accurate.
Well, it's time for Long Island to secede. Time for us to become our own state.
Oh, amen. I love that idea.
Moshe Hill tonight says, Mandani will absolutely move to shut down every single synagogue and Jewish non-for-profit in New York City on day one. I know this because in the assembly, he sponsored a bill that would do exactly that in New York State. So now the word tonight is that, and I haven't seen this official, maybe someone can tell me if they have, that Cuomo's decided to drop out.
Yeah, from what I understand, he conceded.
Oof.
Well, he conceded the race, but he's decided now to drop out.
Yeah. And that is.
I mean, not. What did I say? Not who?
No, you're talking about
Eric Adams is going to have to run, and the point was it? I think it was Cuomo. He was going to.
So here I got. Hold on. Where's the article here?
Yeah, because they have to do a runoff.
Right.
Right. So I guess he's saying he's not, I think I saw something tonight that Cuomo decided to step aside and endorse Eric Adams or something like that, and he wants Curtis and all the others to do the same.
And
to make this a one-on-one deal, obviously, in November with anybody sniffing around.
I got to be honest with you. I could get behind Eric Adams, how he's shifted to the center a little bit after the left is completely turned on him. That has to happen. This guy cannot win. This can't happen.
Well, I think that was I think the point of the text. I mean, maybe I have some of the details of it wrong because I saw it in the car, but it said something like Cuomo's decided to maybe not even do the runoff or drop out and endorse Adams, and then obviously push to get Curtis Sliwa, who's technically the Republican in the race, who clearly, obviously, with all due respect to him, is not going to win. No Republican is going to win anything in New York ever, especially
and definitely
New York City.
not Sliwa.
Huh?
And definitely not Curtis Sliwa.
So get this to a one-on-one race to try to keep this lunatic from winning.
Cooper Flagg to the Dallas Mavericks.
So,
#1 pick.
Number 1 pick has been made. Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, good pick.
College Player of the Year to the Dallas Mavericks.
No surprise.
13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Just getting started on a Wednesday night. We're back right after this.
Is your body ready for summer?
We're gonna build a body you can be proud of. You just give me 30 minutes a day for 21 days, and I promise you, the weight will come off.
This is 21 Day Fix, the perfect program to get you summer ready.
I am in perfect shape for my bikini. I had that sexy little beef.
Get simple fitness, simple nutrition, fast results in just 21 days.
Get ready for summer with 21 Day Fix. This week, try it free at 21dayfix.com. That's 21dayfix.com.
Ball hammock.
Ball hammock.
Ball hammock pouch underwear.
I promise you, you will have found your new favorite underwear.
They're called ball hammocks by Shinesty. Soft, sweat-wicking, breathable underwear with a supportive pouch built in.
I don't know why it took him so long to switch, but I'm very glad that he did.
Ball hammocks will end your adjustments once and for all. You don't realize you need new underwear until you try these.
No more sweating, sticking, or chafing. These are the greatest underwear experience of all time.
Love your first pair or they're free. Upgrade to ball hammocks at Shinesty.com.
Iran has hit cities across Israel with a massive attack. There are rockets and drones that are hitting our schools, our homes, our synagogues. I'm Yael Eckstein of the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, and we urgently need your response now to help bring emergency food, shelter, and life-saving supplies.
The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews has emergency teams across the front lines of Israel's war for survival. Call now to give your gift of $45 and help provide food, shelter, and life-saving supplies. It's your prayers and gifts that give hope and comfort to Israel and the Jewish people.
The Fellowship is a Bible-believing ministry, and we desperately need tens of thousands of faithful believers to answer this call for help now.
Call, scan, or go online now to stand with Israel.
This right here is confidence in a bottle.
It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face. And what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes. And I did this to my father. father. We were at home. So we applied it to his under eye bags. And let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view. And now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles.
At our $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work after your first application. Call the number on your screen.
Call 1-800-854-0295.
All right, live from Studio 6B, 17 past the hour on a Wednesday night. Real America's Voice all across the country on your television. Of course, 103.9 LI News Radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in. Whether you're watching or listening, we always appreciate you giving us a few hours of your weekday nights, 8 to 10. Right here, Real America's Voice, and live from Studio 6B. Slick's going to do some sports. The draft just kicked off. The number one pick has been selected. No surprises there.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to that. Paul Nolan will have some news. Aaron and Fran holding it down. Fran's back. Thank God for that. No, Rick Delgado tonight. I don't even know why. I don't know. Delgado's got something. He said, I've got something.
What even is that? No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't even know why. Where he is.
Funny.
Do you know where he is, Slick?
Yeah, I'm trying to
He didn't tell me. He just said, I need the night off. I said, okay. We have no clue.
Something about a cabaret.
Something.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
Something about.
Maybe it was another midnight hammer.
UFOs, yeah.
He's going to get hammered over midnight.
He's sitting on his roof with a telescope looking for who knows what. So,
UFOs.
Yeah. He'll be back tomorrow. KDJ, I thought was going to be here tonight, but we have not heard from KDJ. I texted him. But no response yet, so we're not sure where Kevin Downey is, but he could be curb stomping and slapping around some pinko commies somewhere.
Pinko
so who knows?
It's so Archie.
So we're here. I will not be here tomorrow night. So those of you who hate the show with me on it, rejoice. Tomorrow night's your night. 18 past the hour. Let's do some sports, Slick. What happened in the draft?
Well, just east of the Berlin Wall in Brooklyn, they have a big draft tonight, Big T, the Barclays Center. Here we go. Cooper Flagg was obviously the first pick. We know that. And the guard from Rutgers just went to San Antonio.
Wow, Dylan Harper.
Yeah, great guard. So he was number 2. And Sixers are going to have to end up picking a guard, too, because I think the next 5 guys in line are all guards. So we'll get somebody, I guess, to play.
This kid's a good player, man. Son of Ron Harper, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good player. Well, he turned it around for Rutgers this year.
Yeah.
How did Rutgers even get him? He carried them right through.
Good size for a guard, too. Yeah. So we'll see. That'll be very interesting. So we'll keep tracking the draft. Philadelphia 76ers, my basketball team that hasn't done much in the last 43 years. They're picking next, so we'll see who we take. But I have a feeling they're going to get stuck with taking a guard.
Now, do you have somebody you want them to get?
No, I really don't.
Because you couldn't name who the next 3 or 4 play. At gunpoint, you couldn't even name who's coming up in this draft. Nobody.
It's nobody. It's not a great draft this year. I mean, outside Cooper Flagg was way, shoulders lengths above everybody else. But other than that, it's just a bunch of guards that are available. That's really all you have this year. I mean, Ace Bailey, right, for another guy from Rutgers, and he's 6'8", and B.J. Edgecombe, who I'm not even really familiar. The kid from Baylor, I'm not really familiar with him at all. No. So yeah, there's not much in the draft this year, Big D. But we will track it tonight just the same. We do have some NBA fans. But let's get to the scoreboard as well. We got baseball on the diamond. Rangers 7-0 over the Orioles, bottom of the 7th. The Athletics lead the Tigers 3-0 in Detroit, top 7 there. Top of the 6th, Blue Jays and Guardians tied at 3. Mets 4-1 over the Braves in Citi Field, bottom 4 there. Yankees blanking the Reds in Cincinnati 3-0, bottom 4. Top of the 3rd, no score, Mariners and Twins. Rays right now leading the Orioles 3-0, middle of the 3rd. End of 2, Cubs over the St. Louis Cardinals 4-0. Phillies and Astros, no score there. Earlier today, a couple of finals. White Sox over the Diamondbacks 7-3. Brewers down the Pirates 4-2. Angels over the Red Sox 5-0. And Padres nipped the Nationals 1-0. You get the Dodgers taking on the Rockies in Colorado. Rockies with the distinction of the worst team in baseball. 8:40 p.m. first pitch there. And then the Marlins taking on the Giants out in San Francisco. 9:45 first pitch as well. So we'll get to one quick story. Old Slick is in trouble there in California. Of course, they got in trouble with that there Title IX. California found to be in violation of Title Title IX after trans athlete uproar, Education Department says. California already faced Title IX investigations earlier this year. This is Ryan Gatos and Jackson Thompson of Fox News reporting. The California Interscholastic Federation and the California Department of Education were found to be in violation of Title IX, the U.S. Department of Ed Office for Civil Rights announced on Wednesday. The announcement came weeks after transgender high school track and field A.B. Hernandez won medals in girls competitions during the California State Championships. The transgender athletes' participation in the events sparked nationwide outrage, specifically from President Donald Trump, after he signed that No Men in Women's Sports executive order, which prohibited transgender athletes from competing against biological girls and women in sports. Although Governor Gavin Newsom admitted months ago it was deeply unfair to allow men to compete in women's sports, both the California Department of Ed and the California Interscholastic Federation continued as recently as a few weeks ago to allow men to steal female athletes' well-deserved accolades and to subject them to the indignity of unfair and safe competitions, Education Secretary Linda McMahon said in a statement. She's been gunning for them the whole time since she got in, and she finally caught up with them. So the Trump administration will relentlessly enforce Title IX protections for women and girls, and our findings today make clear that California has failed to adhere to its obligations under federal law. The state must swiftly come into compliance with Title IX or face the consequences that follow, and we know what those consequences will be. Federal funding will no longer be available or, drastically reduced. So I know I got to report on this. I know these stories don't thrill you, Big D, but they're out there. It's big news. Title IX, it's got to be reported. So
yeah.
It is what it is, and we'll continue to track the draft. The Sixers are on the clock. They're going to take every second of that before they make their pick, and that's it.
Didn't I hear the Long Island schools took a beating in the court recently? Like Massapequa was going to...
Yeah, well, because of the name changes.
Then Wantagh is going to cave in. The Wantagh Warriors, their crest is Chief Wantagh.
I know.
It's awesome. It was a real beautiful picture of a guy who was considered a phenomenal leader, and so they just want to erase history, and I just don't understand why. I mean,
wait, the school systems are giving in?
Wantagh's given in.
Yeah,
Wantagh apparently is going to give in because they can't get money from the state and they can't function.
Yep.
The
state's holding the money over their head of changing it, even though Trump has gotten. So there's nothing.
Hochul's,
Massapequa looks like they're going to keep the fight going, but the latest from the court was that they're still going to deny those schools money for because of their mascot.
Massapequa, what are they? The Chiefs, right?
Massapequa Chiefs.
The Chiefs. Imagine Chief. Is that fire chief considered? Right? I mean, come on.
I mean, it's crazy. It's lunacy.
Sick.
And this Wantagh and Massapequa, these were Indian tribes. I mean, or towns.
It's what Long Island. This is Long Island's origin. We got
to rename Massapequa Leningrad. What are we going to do here?
Yeah, exactly. They'd be happy then. All right. So, anything else in sports?
That's a wrap right there.
All right. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use if you shop at MyPillow. I think I posted on our X today. They got a brand new, there's some deal going on with MyPillow. I think the sheets or something. It's on our X. Mike sent it to me this morning. I posted it right away. They made it specifically for us. I think it was $24.95 for a set of sheets or something through July 4th, maybe. It's on our X at LFS6B. Check it out, and you can shop at MyPillow if you want to. It's great stuff, obviously. I want to say on YouTube, our friend Jerry is in the chat, and she said, guys, my daughter is about to give me my 7th grand blessing, as she calls it, which I like that word.
Nice.
Damon, be a sweetie and call out my daughter and son-in-law, Jerry and Joe. My new grandson will be Robert Anthony.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's great. God bless him.
7th grand blessing, as she calls it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I love it.
Congratulations.
So, Jerry, there you go. Congratulations to your daughter and son-in-law, Jerry and Joe, and all best, and, of course, all health to all involved. Of course, specifically to little Robert Anthony. So, great job.
Yes, beautiful.
Live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday night, Real America's Voice, and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. So, of all the things that a lot of people have gotten wrong in the last month or so, even a little longer than that, one of the things we kept hearing. Well, actually, let's hit the break, and then I'll get into it. President out with a very long, strong message tonight. Who was it about? We'll get to that coming up live from Studio 6B.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America. And get this, did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
Stay tuned to get a free automatic toilet bowl cleaner from Mermaid. Your sink stopper's broken, but fixing a drain is such a pain. Not anymore. Introducing Mermaid Drain Magic, the instant solution to most broken drains. Simply remove and replace. In just seconds, you can fill and drain with a simple press of a button. Drain Magic makes replacing your old, broken, rusty, even missing sink stoppers fast and easy.
Practically took me 5 seconds to replace. It absolutely made my sink look like brand new.
Honestly, I couldn't believe it. How could it work so well, look so good, and install so quickly?
And forget clogging, because Drain Magic's anti-clogging basket helps catch debris before it goes down the drain. When the basket's full, just discard. Helps prevent clogs in your sink by catching hair, food, even jewelry. Drain Magic uses a silicone gasket that creates a watertight seal without messy plumber's putty. Look, this sink was filled hours ago and the water still remains. Press the spring-loaded stopper and the water's gone. Made of brass and finished in high-quality chrome, Drain Magic is rust-resistant and built to last.
It's made out of metal, not plastic, and it actually has some weight to it. Yeah, this is the real deal.
Just looks like a new sink now.
Order your 2-in-1 drain solution, Mermaid Drain Magic, today for only $19.99. And with every order, you're going to get a Mermaid automatic toilet bowl cleaner absolutely free. Just drop it in the tank for up to 3 months of hands-free cleaning. Mermaid's ultra-concentrated formula cleans and deodorizes with every flush. But wait, due to rising costs, this may be your last chance to get Mermaid Drain Magic at this incredibly low price with free Mermaid toilet bowl cleaner. There's a strict limit of 3. Call or click now to order.
Call 1-800-519-3206 or visit getdrainmagic.com. So call 1-800-519-3206 or visit getdrainmagic.com. Order now.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday night. Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. Well, we've started the great-grandkids grandkid off. We now have DB on Facebook says she has 14.
Wow.
And oh no, she's not in the lead, because right after that, Patty Evans on Facebook says, I have 18. Not a joke.
Name that tune.
I can name that tune. So as of right now, Patty Evans, I believe, is in the lead at 18. And she may be the winner of a free T-shirt if 18 holds up.
18.
So 18 right now is the leader in the clubhouse. I see a lot of other great ones. I have 7. I have this, and God bless all of them. But right now, 18. Gail, nice try on YouTube. She has 15.
How do you handle 15 or 18 kids at Christmas? Just what do you got? Like, give everyone a PB&J sandwich? What do you keep up with that?
Yeah, you have a lot of munchkins at the house. That's,
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's great, though. I love hearing that.
I'm just seeing if I missed any, but 18, I believe, is the leader in the clubhouse. So, wow, that's a lot. I hope that's not just from. I hope you don't only have like 2 kids. I hope you have like 4 or 5 kids. 18, man, they got busy.
It's funny, like when we were coming back from Fire Island on Sunday, this family behind us had 5 kids, and I'm thinking, the first thing I'm thinking is, that's great, good, happy, healthy family. Of course. I'm thinking, this guy's got to be loaded. It's like driving a Maserati. Like, how do you have 4 or 5 kids?
Man, if you have kids, that's You wonder how people do it with more than what you have when you're struggling to do what you're doing. It's just, man, I mean, anytime I see a family of more than one girl and they've got anything they do that looks like dancing, and I think, oh, man, where'd you take your loan from to get through the dance bills every year?
Yeah.
You do it with 3 kids, 3 girls, 4 girls. Oh, my God.
What does that cost a year about? As much as boys hockey? My son's travel hockey cost me.
I'll bet it's more.
I would have been able to retire if it wasn't for that stuff. But I don't regret any of it. The best time of my life. It's so much fun, those road trips.
Yeah. So one of the things that most people, there's been a lot of things that people have gotten wrong about, but one of the things we heard continuously was that there was this rift between Trump and Netanyahu that was developing. Many times. Heard it in a lot of places. We also heard on the day that that Israel struck Iran, we heard, well, no way President Trump would have condoned this or known about it, or no way. And I think I tweeted that night, there's no way they made this move without Trump signing off on it. And people told me I was crazy. There's no way.
But Solomon that night had reported to Charlie Kirk, where they preempted us, that he was not informed. So it had to be like a partnered ruse for some reason or other. What Solomon to me is as good as it gets. Can we agree on that?
Yep.
So he said it right there on Charlie Kirk that night, which was to me just a major curveball in the situation.
Yeah. And so we've heard about this rift, and people are still talking about it. People are saying that Israel's not our ally, and people are saying all kinds of stuff out there. And then tonight, President Trump puts this out. And just listen to this. He says, breaking news. I was shocked to hear that the state of Israel, which has just had one of its greatest moments in history and is strongly led by Bibi Netanyahu, is continuing its ridiculous witch hunt against their great wartime prime minister. Bibi and I just went through hell together, fighting a very tough and brilliant longtime enemy of Israel, Iran. And Bibi could not have been better, sharper, or stronger in his love for the incredible Holy Land. Anybody else would have suffered losses, embarrassment, and chaos. Bibi Netanyahu is and was a warrior, like perhaps no other warrior in the history of Israel. And the result was something that nobody thought was possible, a complete elimination of potentially one of the biggest and most powerful nuclear weapons anywhere in the world. And it was going to happen soon. We were fighting literally for the survival of Israel, and there is nobody in Israel's history that has fought harder or more completely than Bibi Netanyahu. Despite all of this, I just learned that Bibi has been summoned to court on Monday for the continuation of this long-running, he has been going through this horror show since May of 2020, unheard of. This is the first time a sitting Israeli prime minister has ever been put on a trial. Politically motivated case concerning cigars, a Bugs Bunny doll, and numerous other unfair charges in order to do him great harm. Such a witch hunt for a man who has given so much is unthinkable to me. He deserves much better than this, and so does the state of Israel. Bibi Netanyahu's trial should be canceled immediately, all caps, or a pardon given to this great hero who has done so much for the state. Perhaps there is no one that I could have worked with in better harmony, me, the President of the United States, than Bibi Netanyahu. It was the United States of America that saved Israel, and now it's going to be the United States of America that saves Bibi Netanyahu. This travesty of justice cannot be allowed. That sound like there's any space between them? That out from the president tonight. And, it's unfortunate that people will read that and be very disappointed in President Trump tonight. I will not be one of them. I will not be one of them. And it doesn't surprise me at all that he puts that out. The way Trump is thought of in Israel, I mean, they've got his face and name plastered all over the highways, even from what he did from 16 to 20. Never mind this. So the president understands, and obviously felt like that needed to be said tonight. And if there's somebody, by the way, who knows about witch hunts,
oh yeah,
he would be the one to be able to speak on it.
And speaking of that, Al Green.
Yeah, so let's do some news here. 37 past the hour. Paul Nolan's got got some headlines. Delgado's off tonight. Mr. Nolan, what's going on?
Well, speaking of witch hunts, Al Green, Democrat from Texas, on Tuesday filed an article of impeachment against President Donald Trump for failing to seek authorization from Congress before he bombed nuclear sites in Iran. Green's resolution alleged abuse of presidential powers by disregarding the separation of powers, devolving American democracy into authoritarianism by unconstitutionally usurping Congress's power to declare war. President Trump's unilateral, unprovoked use of free force without congressional authorization or notice constitutes an abuse of power when there was no imminent threat to the United States. And, he went on to say it's destroying American democracy into authoritarianism. And this wacko in related news, I don't know if you saw this, but
well, first of all, this is Al Green's
7th,
I think 147th time trying to get Trump impeached. Something that his own idiotic party, as dumb as most of them are, have even backed away from at this point.
Yeah.
Because they knew that this was going to completely blow up in their face. Even Pelosi, believe it or not, was asked about this, I believe, yesterday. And even she said, let's just take it easy on that. That's a high bar.
Yeah.
So Al Green is he's wherever Delgado is. He's on another planet by himself. Or maybe not by himself, maybe with him. But, he is, talk about just clueless. He is dumber than 4 rocks, man.
Well, Jamie Raskin also said this on
he's dumber than 3 rocks.
This guy right now, man, talk about one of the all-time greatest losers in American politics. This guy's just remember, he's an ankle 3 feet lower than a butthole.
Yeah.
He's the worst. I got to be honest with you. I cannot stomach that guy's face, his voice, everything he says. I just want to punch him in the neck. But, he's chiming in too, and he's as much of a criminal as there is out there. So I'm not...
What's he saying?
Oh, I didn't know if you want me to follow up on that. But he said that on to Alicia Mendez, you have Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez calling the president's decision to bomb Iran without authorization a grave violation of the Constitution, saying it is absolutely and clearly grounds for impeachment. Real quickly, do you agree and disagree or agree? And he said, I couldn't read the whole thing, but it sounded like I agree with that it's an absolute violation of the Constitution. She asked, is it in grounds for impeachment? And he said, well, without saying what anybody should do in any particular situation, undoubtedly it's a violation of the war powers of Congress, the usurpation of war powers and Congress. He should be impeached. It is an impeachable offense.
We should leave it to Congress based on the War Powers Act. Okay.
Right. And I believe that has been proven by constitutional lawyers that is fully within his rights. If it was an escalation of war for over 60 days, they would have to go to Congress. And I like the idea of Congress voting on wars. I don't want one guy to decide, like Obama and the State Department with Hillary. And, I'm not a big fan of that. But he was within his presidential rights. And let's be honest, this is not I'll be the first to admit, when I screw up, I'm open to it. I was assuming this was just going to be another neocon payback. The way this went about it, where it was just a strike, in, out, done, I'm good with that. So the fact that really there were no civilians killed, there were no innocents killed, there were no non-combatants killed, no women and children, and they eradicate, with such precision. It's, to me, I'm going to give it a pass. It just tells me that Trump is in full control, and this is not the deep state making decisions. And so I won't lie when I say that this is so much better than I thought it would be. Obviously, we know there could be escalation, right? We're not saying it's over. There could be, some retaliation. But I get the feeling that Iran just wants to be left alone at this point. All right, we're good. Let's just do commerce with the rest of the world. So I hope that this was a spanking of the dog.
Of the ages.
Yeah.
You know, this moves on from this, and let's just get commerce over chaos.
ICE tonight has announced that it has arrested 130 Iranian nationals across the U.S. in the last 7 days amid security concerns. And I saw that the Democrat nominee for mayor-elect last night, Mandani, is talking about how he's going to be a real tough guy and stand up to Tom Homan when the time comes if he assumes the office. And I think Tom Homan was asked about that today. And I think as he got done laughing, he said,
right.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. And I don't know if you remember Trump saying to AOC, yeah, bring it on. Impeach me. Bring it on. You know, so. And there's other news about national security. I'll get to that from Just the News, talking about countries of concern like China. Hundreds of scientists are being probed, so we'll get to that next.
All right, we'll get to that. News, sports coming up, and then we'll talk about the war powers narrative that all the Democrats are jumping on. Should the president be impeached? Let's find out.
Boy.
Live from Studio 6B. More to do. We're back right after this.
Is your body ready for summer?
We're going to build a body you can be proud of. You just give me 30 minutes a day for 21 days, and I promise you the weight will come off.
This is 21 Day Fix, the perfect program to get you summer ready.
I am in perfect shape for my bikini. I had that sexy little beef.
Get simple fitness, simple nutrition, fast results in just 21 days.
Get ready for summer with 21 Day Fix. This week, try it free at 21dayfix.com. That's 21dayfix.com.
To avoid digital threats, just turn on NordVPN. Improve your protection against trackers, malicious websites, and malware-ridden downloads. Get the deal now.
When the kids turn unholy, Harrelson's Own keeps my patience divine.
When work flies out of control, Harrelson's Own keeps me cool as a cucumber.
The device madness never ends. But Harrelson's Own keeps me zen.
Life can be chaotic, but Harrelson's Own CBD helps keep you calm through any storm. Harrelson's Own consistently delivers your full mind and body homeostasis. It's an organic, full-spectrum CBD in a refreshing oral spray. Our nano-emulsified technology makes it completely water-soluble, so your body absorbs it immediately. You'll start to feel it in seconds, not 60 minutes. It just makes everything feel better.
And it helps me just take the edge off. It helps me relax. It helps me be there with my kids.
I swear I'm like a mental ninja. Like nothing can throw me off balance.
No matter how many things come at me, I'm like, boom, handled, next. I'm like crushing it all day long.
Well, some people take it for a release from stress. Some take it to get rid of pain. Others just take it for general well-being. For me, Brett Harrelson, it just makes everything about my day a little better.
Give your life a boost.
It's just the best you've ever felt in your natural state.
My happiness in a bottle is the best.
So to sum it all up, you're going to feel the benefits quickly, love the way it feels, and like the way it tastes. Pay a fair price, and you're going to thank us for it. We are so confident you're going to be satisfied that we back every bottle with a 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Give Harrelson's Own a try, from our family to yours. Go to ho.com to order Harrelson's Own now. Yep, it's that easy. Just our initials, ho.com.
The bathroom of your dreams is only a phone call away with BCI Bath and Shower. We can make your ordinary bath and shower extraordinary. This is not a cookie cutter design. This is a complete custom build that will fit your every need, and discounts for seniors and military.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday night, June 25th. Real America's Voice on your television, 103.9 LI News Radio on your radio. Glad you're in, everybody. Slick Rick's here. He's doing sports. Paul Nolan's doing the news. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. And, of course, you. The live from Studio 6B audience, wherever you're watching, we appreciate it. Rumble, X, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching, we appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Let's talk about the War Powers Act, because I saw Charlatan Allen today. The War Powers narrative is false, and the Constitution proves it. It says it wasn't long after the smoke cleared at Fordo, Natanz, that the second explosion landed. And that one was on Capitol Hill, except this one was, of course, pre-planned. With the precision of a broken clock, Senator Tim Kaine preemptively introduced a War Powers resolution on June 16th, 5 full days before the June 21st airstrikes. Did you realize that? Let me say that again. Tim Kaine from Virginia introduced a War Powers resolution on June 16th, 5 full days before the June 21st airstrikes, laying the groundwork for a headline-grabbing repudiation before a single B-2 Spirit had lifted off. That's right. Before a single B-2 took flight, the legislative branch had already launched its own volley aimed not at Tehran, but at the commander-in-chief. The phrase of the hour? Unconstitutional. Except it isn't. And never was. The condemnation wasn't just premature, it was constitutionally illiterate, strategically reckless, and politically performative, which is most of what they do. Article 2 of the Constitution is extremely clear. The president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the United States, full stop. Article 2, Section 2, vests operational command of the military in the president, not as a ceremonial ornamentation, but as clear and foundational authority. Let's go a little further. The president's authority isn't grounded in the Constitution alone. It's supported by statute as well. The War Powers Act of 1973, ironically, the very law now being weaponized against Trump, explicitly acknowledges this power. Section 2C of the War Powers Act, codified as 50 U.S.C. Code 1541, affirms that the president may introduce U.S. forces into hostilities in response to, quote, a national emergency created by attack upon the United States, its territories or possessions, or its armed forces, end quote. Over the past 46 years, Iran has unrelentingly targeted U.S. forces and interests across the globe. It has proxied the killing of American troops through the IRGC. It has done the same through Hezbollah, kidnapped American citizens, murdered Americans, plotted to assassinate President Trump and others, threatened to close the Strait of Hormuz, and engaged in maritime piracy. Tehran has operated as the chief patron of global terrorism, from Beirut to Baghdad to the Red Sea. Iran also funds the Houthi drone strikes on international shipping lanes and has made the destruction of both America and Israel the ideological touchstone of its regime. For Tehran, nuclear weapons are not defensive instruments. They are the intended means to rain fire on the Western world and annihilate our civilization. Whether the acquisition of these was days, weeks, or months away should not matter. The goal has always been the same, and their determination is unwavering. The national emergency is not hypothetical. It's kinetic and enduring, spanning presidential administrations of both parties for decades. President Trump took swift and decisive action to eliminate this threat, at least for now. More to the point, Trump's actions do not require congressional preclearance of any sort. The Constitution grants Congress the power to declare war under Article 1, Section 8, but that's a far cry from requiring approval for every individual use of force. And the distinction is deeply rooted in our constitutional tradition. Alexander Hamilton in Federalist 69 drew a sharp line between the powers of the president and those of a monarch. Unlike the British king, who could both declare war and raise the regular fleets and armies, the president would have supreme command and direct the military and naval forces once raised. This is the core of Article 2 and the proper response to those misrepresenting it today. In our system, control of the military doesn't mean congressional micromanagement. The framers established two distinct political branches: Congress to declare war when appropriate, and the president to exercise military command as the sole commander-in-chief. Each branch has a role, but only one can serve as the commander-in-chief in the moment of decision. Operational secrecy and unified command often demand action before congressional deliberation could even begin. This is a design feature of our constitutional system, one that the founders deliberately embedded and every president has understood, whether they were Federalist, Jeffersonian Republicans, Democrats, Whigs, or Republicans. From the founding of the Republic, this precedent has held. And then he goes through some of the presidents that obviously the examples of exercising military power without any congressional approval. And he says none of these actions involve formal declarations of war or new congressional authorizations. None of them drew any muted protest. None of them were denounced as unconstitutional by the opposition party leadership until now. President Obama dropped over 26,000 bombs across 7 countries, an astounding average of 72 per day, without a single new authorization for use of military force from Congress. Oh, people forget.
Well, I guess that hurts your narrative.
So, great points. And that's not even the whole article, but I'm not going to bore you with the whole thing. You can read it. It's on our X. But, you know, when you're arguing with people on this and you listen to these morons who keep bringing this up over and over and over again, and I hate to say, so even some who should know better, or at least do the research and don't just parrot somebody else's, oh, yeah, I think I agree. I think it's unconstitutional. Really? This is the article, at least the best one I've seen so far, to combat that.
It's definitely constitutional.
The Constitution, including its carefully drawn separation of war powers, is not a suicide pact, and it must not be twisted into one by those seeking political advantage in a dangerous, often unforgiving world. Charlton Allen, attorney and former chief executive officer, chief judicial officer of the North Carolina Industrial Commission. He's the founder of the Madison Center for Law and Liberty. Great article. All right, that's a wrap. Hour 1, Hour 2 coming back right after this.
They're called ball hammocks by Shinesty. Soft, sweat-wicking, breathable underwear with a supportive pouch built in.
You would honestly think that underwear couldn't be reinvented.
Then I found ball hammocks, and I've been able to wear another brand since.
Ball hammocks will end your adjustments once and for all. You don't realize you need new underwear until you try these.
I'm on my feet all day. I'm up, I'm down. It's nice to have underwear that move with me and feel like they aren't there.
Love your first pair or they're free. Upgrade to ball hammocks at Shinesty.com.
Iran has hit cities across Israel with a massive attack. There are rockets and drones that are hitting our schools, our homes, our synagogues. I'm Yael Eckstein of the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, and we urgently need your response now to help bring emergency food, shelter, and life-saving supplies.
The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews has emergency teams across the front lines of Israel's war for survival. Call now to give your gift of $45 and help provide food, shelter, and life-saving supplies. It's your prayers and gifts that give hope and comfort to Israel and the Jewish people.
The Fellowship is a Bible-believing ministry, and we desperately need tens of thousands of faithful believers to answer this call for help now.
Call, scan, or go online now to stand with Israel.
Funerals can easily cost $9,000 or more, but government benefits pay only $255. If you're between 40 and 85, get your free Funeral Advantage Guide. Help keep your family financially protected with up to $20,000 cash immediately.
It's so easy. Just answer a few simple health questions.
Funeral Advantage is something we'll all need. There's no risk or obligation.
Call 800-849-7919.
They tried to shut them up.
There's no guarantee to free speech.
They tried to cancel them.
Deplatforming works.
They even threw them in jail.
Peter Navarro,
Steve Bannon,
now in prison.
But they couldn't stop them.
It's not a prison bill that will ever shut me up.
They call them rebels.
Basket of deplorables.
They call them rogues.
They claim to guns or religion.
And they say they're outlaws.
These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
War Room presents Rebels, Rogues, and Outlaws.
You set out to take Vienna! Take Vienna!
The national bestseller by longtime Bannon producer Dan Fluette. Take a journey through the pictorial history of War Room. In a culture that celebrates the weak, show your support by standing with the rebels. Go to doitfluette.com or scan the QR code on your screen. Use the code RAV20 for 20% off your order. Stand with the rebels and never back down.
When I'm not bartending, I'm watching live from Studio 6B, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m.
AOC plus 3 weighing in live from Studio 6.
In the mix, literally.
On a Wednesday night. Glad you're in. Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 News Radio. Glad you're in, everybody, on a Wednesday. Lots to get to here in hour two. Slick's going to do some sports here coming up since I hogged the whole last segment. Paul's going to do some more news. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Fran's back. How was your whatever you did, Fran? Your getaway? I'm sure it was good because you were away. That's probably enough. But
yeah, it was not long enough.
No,
I could have used a couple more weeks.
Aaron, you hear it? Don't laugh at him, Aaron.
Years.
He's talking about all of us when he says that.
He could have used a couple more years.
Yeah, exactly. So Fran's back. Thank God.
Thank God.
Well, there's a lot to get to in hour two. I want to talk a little bit more about what's going on in New York City because Michael Goodwin, who I always love reading in the New York Post today, says New York City's mayoral primary delivers the worst of all possible outcomes. So we'll get to a little bit of that. A couple other things that caught my attention. Daniel Horowitz today over at the Blaze, and once we, I think, a little more time to get past all of this, kind of refocus on what's going on here in America. And the big, beautiful bill is obviously still a huge problem, at least for me. And Horowitz has a piece today called "The Parliamentarian Isn't More Powerful Than the People." And he's accusing Republicans of hiding behind the parliamentarian here, so they don't have to actually address the issues in the big, beautiful bill, like the green subsidies that they don't want to get rid of, the salt tax that New York is fighting for, which, boy, if you think of a reason to get rid of the salt, get rid of it completely, this election would be another one. Can you imagine having to subsidize New York when guys like this get in charge of it and the policies they want to put in place, and they want all these other states that don't tax their citizens to absolute death to redistribute wealth up to New York so they can fund this crap? I mean, give me a break. So we'll talk a little bit about that if we have some time, but right now, let's do some sports since we didn't do any last segment, and a lot going on tonight. NBA draft is going on tonight. Cooper Flagg, of course, the #1 pick on his way to the Dallas Mavericks. And we'll see if that young man ends up being the superstar that it looks like he's going to be, obviously, as he starts his NBA career in October.
Yeah.
But the draft's going on. Let's see what's going on with sports. It's brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slickster, what else is going on?
Well, let's get back out to the Barclays Center. Big deal. Let's recap the draft here. 76ers select VJ Edgecombe at number 3, and Ace Bailey falls to the Jazz. ESPN reporting, after a disastrous season, and I do mean disastrous, where Joel Embiid only played a handful of games before needing knee surgery, Philadelphia's reward was getting the 3rd pick in Wednesday night's NBA draft, which they used to select Baylor guard VJ Edgecombe. Edgecombe, who was part of the Bahamian national team last summer, alongside multiple current NBA players, is an explosive 19-year-old guard who could be a long-term complement to all-star guard Tyrese Maxey in Philadelphia's backcourt. Well, I'm hoping this is the Bahamian Rhapsody with this kid, because they sure need some help there. The 76ers pick nearly went to the NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder as part of the Al Horford-Danny Green swap 5 years ago, but it had a top 6 protection, letting the Sixers retain it. Meanwhile, Ace Bailey, projected for most of the season as the 3rd pick, ended up falling to the Utah Jazz at number 5. So I had San Antonio and Utah. They were top 5 picks. The Rutgers star had a chaotic pre-draft process that included canceling a meeting with the Sixers. Bailey's teammate at Rutgers, Dylan Harper, went to the San Antonio Spurs with the number 2 pick, while, of course, Cooper Flagg, as Big D has mentioned, was drafted number 1 overall to the Mavericks as expected. At number 4, the Charlotte selected Con Knuppel out of Duke, a sweet shooting guard who should help a Hornets team that struggled to hit and the 3-point catch and shoot. So we'll see what happens there. We'll keep you up to date on the draft. NHL news. NHLPA negotiating 84-game season in new CBA sources say. Paul, do you think 2 more games is going to make that much of a difference?
Yeah, what about $2 million a team? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see. I mean, you're going to do something, make it 4 games, 6 games, 8 games, something like that, I think.
Make it less games.
And don't do it at all. Yeah, well, sure. I mean, the fatigue with the NHL playoffs, how many months does that go on? This is Greg Wyshynski and Kevin
killing themselves as it is.
Of ESPN, no doubt. And the knees really take a beating with this game. The NHL and the NHL Players Association are negotiating a potential increase to an 84-game regular season during the collective bargaining agreement talks, sources told ESPN today. An increase over the current 82-game schedule has been discussed internally by the NHL over the past few seasons. The league has been considering scheduling alternatives after some franchises complained about an imbalanced number of division games against rivals. Contests that typically draw larger crowds and bigger television audiences. The addition of 2 regular season games would allow the NHL to keep its current schedule format, which sees every team visit every opponent at least once, while giving division rivals 4 games against each other every season. But there has been discussion on other alterations to the format as well. It is expected the NHL would reduce the number of preseason games to compensate for the additional 2 regular season games, similar to what the NFL did by reducing that 1 game. But a source told ESPN that there is some concern on the players' side about wear and tear, which we just alluded to right earlier, Paul, from 2 additional regular season games. So we'll keep an eye on that. But the NHL previously had an 84-game regular season from 92 to 94 when the league and NHLPA agreed to add 2 neutral site games to every team's schedule. So maybe going back that route, again, I don't think 2 games is going to be a big deal. But that's the news out of the NHL. So NHL, NBA, I'll have some other stories coming up. Big D, and I might have a rodeo or 2 to throw in, as well as an update on the scoreboard in my last segment of the sports later on tonight. That's a wrap.
I don't understand why they keep expanding. I mean, what's next? 100 games?
Well, football's talking about it going another game, too.
18, I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they're talking about letting that season go into the end of February, where the Super Bowl will be right before March Madness starts for the TV ratings. I mean, the car industry loves it. You know, big tech loves it.
It's all about the marketing dollars.
I know. It's not about whatever.
Meanwhile, who pays us?
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's no fan union.
No.
There should be a fan strike.
Now you're onto something.
If you're not, the fans should unite, have fan strikes, so this way every ticket's affordable for a working guy.
The problem is fans can never agree.
Yeah,
We'd never be able to get together.
I got to be completely honest with you. I'm so glad I took sports out of my life. It was such a distraction. I don't need it. I don't miss it. I don't care. Other than my Islander hockey and my New York Giants football, I'm done.
Yeah.
All right, 7 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS 6B is the promo code to use. Let's do some other headlines with Paul Nolan. Headlines are brought to you by our friends at EternalLifeCoin.com. Eternal Lifecoin, all one word, EternalLifeCoin.com. Paul Nolan's got him. What's going on?
Well, I don't know if you guys saw Pete Hegseth today on the news. He was fantastic. He talked about the fake news and the narratives. He ripped CNN, and as did Trump, for his report stating that the key components of Iran's nuclear program were not destroyed in strikes on Saturday based on a description of an early U.S. intelligence assessment. At the NATO summit in the Netherlands, Trump read a report from the Atomic Energy Commission of Israel and stated that United States strike on Fordow destroyed the site's critical infrastructure and rendered the enrichment facility totally inoperable. But the reports that Iran's capability to develop a nuclear weapon was set back many years. In contrast to CNN's report, which said the mission likely only caused month-long hindrance to Iran's nuclear program. Did you see Hegseth?
I did. I listened to a little bit of it in the car. I thought he was fine. More interestingly for me today, and again, but I don't know what the rules are today. We don't believe the CIA, or we do believe the CIA, or what's the?
Well, I mean, here's
hard for me to keep up with what the rules are.
Well, I mean, what's the history? You know, are they always telling us the truth? What do they tell? Do they tell us more truth than lies? Or they tell us a lot of truth with a little bit of lies, or is it a little bit of truth with a lot of lies? Who knows?
Right. So
I know I still don't trust the CIA.
We'll have to decide how that
applies.
applies.
Need to clean house a little bit longer.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to decide. I guess everybody can decide for themselves, because the CIA put this out today. Office of Public Affairs press release for immediate release, June 25th. Statement from Director John Ratcliffe about intelligence in Iran's nuclear program. The CIA can confirm that a body of credible intelligence indicates Iran's nuclear program has been severely damaged by the recent targeted strikes. This includes new intelligence from an historically reliable and accurate source, method that several key Iranian nuclear facilities were destroyed and would have to be rebuilt over the course of years. CIA continues to collect additional reliably sourced information to keep appropriate decision makers and oversight bodies fully informed. When possible, we will also provide updates and information to the American public, given the national importance of this matter, in every attempt to provide transparency. So again, I don't know if anyone believes these people, even with Ratcliffe in charge, but that's what they put out today, basically saying that CNN's full of it. And that certainly they didn't leave any of this to chance. And the whole idea on its face is comical, what we went through yesterday.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you saw this. Also, one of CNN's reporters behind the anonymously sourced report stating the U.S. strikes on Iran did not destroy key components of nuclear sites. Also wrote the story in which over 50 former intelligence officials claimed that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation. I mean, so on top of it, I sent you the Hegseth clip if you wanted to play it. I thought he did great there. I like when I'm getting directly from guys like that, but where do you stand? Do you trust everything the CIA puts out? I mean, I'm really curious what your position is on it.
Well, I mean, I look more to the individual. I like Ratcliffe a lot, so I certainly would trust him.
I just think there's too many, like Blackwaters and, these too many like Rand Corp. To me, there's too many of these dark and nefarious henchmen, if you will, corporate henchmen. When there's billions at stake, you don't know what people will do for, a Klondike bar. You don't know what they'll do for $1 billion. So, I don't know. It's hard for me to trust anything after how jaded I've been over the last really 25 years of just really reprehensible behavior from the intelligence community. So, but we do know this: CNN will always lie in its efforts to smear Trump to keep the last of its base, chomping at the bit and frothing at the mouth, and it's just. So I don't know, man. I'm taught every time I read something from these places, I just try to think, what are they trying to sell me?
Here's a little bit of Hegseth today when he stepped to the microphone.
Meeting for a tactical reason with President Putin.
Let him answer this.
Hello, Mr. Secretary.
Yeah. There's a reason the president calls out fake news for what it is. These pilots, these refuelers, these fighters, these air defenders, the skill and the courage it took to go into enemy territory flying 36 hours on behalf of the American people and the world to take out a nuclear program.
He sure looks the part,
is beyond
doesn't he?
what anyone in this audience can fathom.
He's cool.
And then the instinct of CNN, the instinct of the New York Times is to try to find a way to spin it for their own political reasons to try to hurt President Trump or our country. They don't care what the troops think. They don't care what the world thinks. They want to spin it to try to make him look bad based on a leak. Of course, we've all seen plenty of leakers. And what do leakers do? They have agendas. And what do? Do they share the whole information or just the part that they want to introduce? And when they introduce that preliminary report that's deemed to be a low assessment, do you know what a low assessment means? Low confidence in the data in that report. And why is there low confidence? Because all of the evidence of what was just bombed by 12 30,000-pound bombs is buried under a mountain, devastated and obliterated. So if you want to make an assessment of what happened at Fordo, you better get a big shovel and go really deep, because Iran's nuclear program is obliterated. And
yeah, so there you go. All right, more to do live from Studio 6B. We're back right after this.
There's nothing worse than losing your dog before their time.
That's why I created Dr. Marty Nature's Blend, designed to help dogs with everything from digestive issues to itching, even moving better.
Nature's Blend works because it's freeze-dried. So instead of destroying the nutrients with high heat, they all get right into your dog's body.
Take it from a veterinarian with over 50 years of experience saving dogs' lives. I have never seen a food make this much impact on a dog's health.
For a limited time, get up to 54% off Dr. Marty Nature's Blend, plus a free gift with our special TV offer. Call or go to drmartypets.com/TV.
Your wallet is always in danger. Criminals can scan and hack your information without you even knowing. Worse yet, it's bulky and so disorganized. But not anymore, because Slim is in. Introducing Slim Mint, an ultra-thin RFID blocking wallet that keeps your cards and cash truly protected. And now may be your last chance to get it for a low price. Slim Mint uses the latest RFID blocking technology to prevent thieves from scanning your wallet and stealing your info.
Having your information stolen is a nightmare, but with Slim Mint, I know I'm protected.
With money clips, cash can easily fall out, but with the auto-locking Slim Mint, your cards and money stay securely in place. Then just press the button to release the lock. Slim Mint is ergonomically designed to optimize space and keep your belongings organized. It has a built-in cash clip and a flexible outer band to securely fit your additional cards and your extra cash. Even with everything you see here in the Slim Mint, it's still ultra-thin. Bulky wallets are uncomfortable, but the Slim Mint is so compact it fits in any size pocket. Plus, it keeps everything easy to access.
Slim Mint holds everything, from pictures to credit cards, my driver's license. Yeah, it's still so thin.
Say bye-bye to bent cards and damaged magnetic strips. Slim Mint keeps them protected. It's crush-resistant and can really take a beating. Similar wallets sell for over $100. But call or click now and get Slim Mint for just $29.99. Order in the next 5 minutes and you'll get an instant $10 discount. So it's only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get Slim Mint at this low price. There's a strict limit of 3 Slim Mint wallets while supplies last. You still have time to get your very own Slim Mint wallets, but you must act fast. Don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-608-6630. That's 1-800-608-6630. Call or visit slimmintwallet.com. So call 1-800-608-6630 now.
Do you suffer in pain? Are you stiff, tense, or less active? Introducing the Easy Well Remedy Massage System.
A triple fusion of therapeutic experiences. Full body vibrational therapy increases blood circulation and reduces inflammation. Infrared heat penetrates deep to reduce pain, soothe, and relax. The Ultra Shiatsu pillow with 6 heated nodes mimics a professional massage. Plus, it's detachable for deep relief anywhere you need it. Experience the true remedy for your pain and stiffness. Call now.
It sounded like the blues, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let me talk to you about our friends at the Wellness Company. A new administration in Washington, D.C. has brought a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. But the reality is, however, that there's only so much the government can do. And if you really want to make America healthy again, it's going to start at home with each and every one of you. And that's, of course, where the Wellness Company comes in. You know the Wellness Company. Their doctors are on this network all the time. And you know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. Their prescription kits, like I said, are the gold standard. The Wellness Company gives you the opportunity to make sure you are prepared for whatever happens with their series of prescription medical kits, kits that contain an assortment of life-saving medications. And they give you nice guidebooks as well to assist in the proper use of the medications. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more that can help you stay healthy and live longer and a more satisfying life. So make America healthy again starts at home. Do your part, protect the health of you and your family. Right now, go to twc.health/voice, www.twc.health/voice. Today in order, and you can use promo code VOICE to save an additional 10% right there on your screen, www.twc.health/voice. Use promo code VOICE at checkout to save 10% on your order. Our friends over at the Wellness Company. Who else am I reading here, Aaron? Birch. Oh, well, Philip Patrick. We just had Philip Patrick on, right?
Monday night.
He's heading to the Rio Reset, he said.
Yeah.
And, of course, we're days away from what has been dubbed the Rio Reset, the greatest threat to the U.S. dollar's global dominance in over 80 years. On July 6th, BRICS nations Russia, China, India, Iran, and many more are expected to unveil their plans to circumvent the U.S. dollar, thus trying to crater its value. They've already been laying the groundwork as their central banks have been methodically divesting from the U.S. dollar and U.S. bonds in favor of gold. How can you protect your IRA or 401k from the fallout from this landmark shift? Well, diversify into gold with our friends from the Birch Gold Group. Historically, gold has been a safe haven in times of high uncertainty, which is right now. Get a free information kit on tax-sheltered gold IRAs by texting the word America to 989898. That's all you got to do. It's simple. Just text the word America on your mobile device. Send it to 989898. July 6th marks a monumental shift that's going to happen among nations that control 1/3 of the world's GDP. Arm yourself with information to diversify your retirement savings. Text America to the number 989898 and claim your free information kit from our friends at Birch Gold. All right, 20 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. So your Democrat nominee for mayor got out to ABC 7 today. Oh boy. And here's a little part of that.
You call yourself a democratic socialist. The word socialist, of course, has been vilified and used to attack you specifically. How do you define being a democratic socialist?
What a question there from ABC 7.
Oh, my God.
What a question. The word socialist has been vilified. Really? Is that what we're going to call it? Like, oh, it's such a pleasant place to be, living in socialism. Socialism. It's been vilified.
Yeah.
And it's been used to target you.
May I have more porridge, Papa?
You call yourself a democratic socialist. The word socialist, of course, has been vilified and used to attack you specifically. How do you define being a democratic socialist?
I think of the words of Dr. King, who decades ago said, call it democracy or call it democratic socialism. There must be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country.
There you go.
And it gets to the heart of the matter, which is inequality. And my belief that every New Yorker should have what they need to live a dignified life. It shouldn't be something that they can be priced out of. And that's why at the heart of our campaign is this focus on freezing the rent for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants, making the slowest buses in the country fast and free.
There are in the country about 1,200, people who are just wealthy beyond anything, right? And in 25 years ago, there were only about 40 of them. Now there are 1,200 people who are worth more than $1 billion and much more than that. That has to be addressed at some point because they're not paying the taxes that the rest of us are paying.
Absolutely, and I think it gets to the heart of the matter, which is that there is enough money for a life of dignity for all people. It's just a question of whether we have the political will to ensure that that money is being spent on delivering that dignity.
There you go. Bill Ritter, all in on democratic socialism as well, seemingly, at ABC7. There was only 40, now there's 1,200. And he says it like it's a bad thing.
Bill Ritter.
Hello? Hey, Bill. That's called capitalism. That's called making it. That's called upward mobility. That's what the country's founded on. That's what capitalism's all about. It's lifted more people out of poverty than anything else that's ever been presented in the universe, ever. Oh, there used to only be 40 billionaires. Now there's 1,200. This is terrible that people are actually doing well.
Yeah, they should go to all 1,200 of those people, with an army and guns and steal all their money and then give it to us.
Amazing, the thinking.
What incentivizes anybody in a socialist world to innovate, to grow, to employ? The notion that these central planners think that they can control economies, they can distribute wealth equitably. It's the arrogance of this. Socialism never done the right way. We're going to do it the right way. It is. It's a threat to the democracy.
Why go out and work?
Why
for money when you can just take it from someone who you deem has too much?
Yeah.
Why go out and start a company, hire, make payroll, sign the checks? Live the life of an entrepreneur. Make something. Make someone's life better by creating something.
Right. So the guy who wants to work 70 hours a week, 80 hours a week, he wants to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner at his desk or out in the field to grind, to build something, to build a legacy. And now he's unincentivized to now stay home because the government wants 80% of it, 90% of it.
Bill Ritter, that has to be addressed here sometimes as well.
It is just
What do you
again,
expect? ABC.
This is the tweet I said before. I read it. This is why, again, you can't share a country with these people. You can't share a state or a city for sure. You can't. It's not compatible.
Yeah.
That level of wanting to. It's just not compatible. Again, we believe in the individual. We believe in the individual liberty, individual rights, common law, the difference in good and evil.
God-given rights.
Knowing yes, God-given rights, upward mobility, private property rights. We believe in the individual. We don't believe in groupthink. They demand conformity. It's socialism and conservatism, and it just doesn't. It's like the guy said, whoever it was I quoted before. I think it was Larry Summers. It's never worked anywhere else, and it is not going to work here. I don't care how nice they make it sound. I don't care how much of a smile he puts on his face when he says it. I don't care what kind of moron is asking the questions like Bill Ritter. The word socialism has been vilified and then used against you. You call yourself a democratic socialist, he says. Hello?
There's a Austrian economics book. It's Economics in One Lesson by Henry Hazlitt. Easy to read, simple. Every single kid in school should read that book because it's a simple approach to free market capitalism. It's not like reading Mises Institute and Frederick Hayek. They get pretty complicated. It's crazy what they teach the kids in school. They teach them that UBI is actually a good thing. It's very, very scary.
All right, live from Studio 6B, more to do. We're back on a Wednesday right after this.
Yep, your worst nightmare. Your car broke down. Now you're worried if it's going to cost you a fortune in repair bills. Unless you already called CarShield, the legit #1 auto protection company in the country. When you're protected with a plan through CarShield, the process is smooth like ice and done in as little as 3 steps. 1. First, the tow truck takes your car to the shop. The cost of towing, covered when you got a plan through CarShield. Next, you probably need to get around while your vehicle's being repaired, right? 2. Plans through CarShield have rental car options too. Then comes the best part. 3. When you pick up your vehicle, you don't have a big repair bill to worry about. CarShield administrators get your covered repairs paid directly to the shop, so you're back on the road with no worries. Call now to get an affordable plan through CarShield for your vehicle before it's too late. When you call CarShield, whether you got a small problem like a power window motor that could cost a few $100s, or a big problem like an engine or transmission that could cost you thousands of dollars, you're taken care of. CarShield is the #1 auto protection company in the country, and their administrators have paid out more than $1 billion in auto repairs. That's billion with a B. CarShield is the choice that gives you the CarShield guarantee. Your rate never goes up, and your coverage never goes down, no matter how many claims you have. Look, it's inevitable. As your car or truck ages, the parts and components are gonna fail. It's not worth the risk. Call CarShield now.
Waiting until your car breaks down is too late. Call CarShield for coverage on up to 5,000 parts and get the CarShield guarantee, where your rate never goes up and your coverage never goes down, no matter how many claims you have. Call 800-653-8201. 800-653-8201.
They're called ball hammocks by Shinesty. Soft, sweat-wicking, breathable underwear with a supportive pouch built in. You don't realize you need new underwear until you try these. Love your first pair or they're free. Upgrade to ball hammocks at Shinesty.com.
Be part of a historic event. Join Lech Walesa, Nobel Peace Prize winner and one of the world's greatest leaders, on his first ever grand lecture tour across North America. Meet the global hero who changed the course of history and inspired millions. Now, the greatest challenges of our time lie ahead. Walesa will take you behind the scenes of one of history's greatest turning points to draw lessons for a future we must build together. Register now at historyexplorer.com.
The bathroom of your dreams is only a phone call away with BCI Bath and Shower. We can make your ordinary bath and shower extraordinary. This is not a cookie cutter design. This is a complete custom build that will fit your every need, and discounts for seniors and military.
Minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. You right there, Slickster?
Yeah, lost my mic there.
And 103.9 LI News Radio. And if you're listening on LI News Radio, remember Friday night, 2 nights from tonight, we will be live at the America First Warehouse.
Yeah, come on down.
So make sure you come on down to the America First Warehouse. It is a great time with a live audience.
Free admission, right?
Free admission.
Beautiful.
You know, it was have a great time. Boys will all be there. Kevin Downey Jr., Vinnie Mac, Slick Rick, Paul Nolan, Rick Delgado, Aaron and Fran.
Pizza Friday.
Pizza Friday. Man, it's a great time, and it's a lot of fun. So come on down. If you're listening on 103.9 LI News Radio, come on down to the America First Warehouse in Ronkonkoma, New York. It's pretty easy to get to. Just put on your Apple Maps and say, take me to the America First Warehouse, and it'll take you right over there. So
great time.
Come on down there on a Friday night and have some fun with us. It really is a lot of fun.
It's a blast. It really is.
Yeah, Joe the Box, of course, running around with his American flag, waving it around. And you know what I love is when Joe the Box leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yep. Very nice. He's one of the most.
He did it from the stage, I think, last week.
He's one of the most patriotic people I've ever met.
Who invited him up on the stage? I thought we had a stalker at first. No, it was Joe.
Well, he owns the place. I mean, come on.
He's lucky I didn't tackle him. So, no, I like it.
I'd say it's nice. There's like 5 different guys who conceal carry there. So if any crazy lunatic lefty tries to show up,
Well,
don't get no funny ideas.
Don't give all away our secrets, Paul.
I like the deterrent factor.
Let's do some news. Speaking of Mr. Nolan News sitting in tonight. Delgado's off, Kevin Downey Jr.'s off, but they'll be at the warehouse on Friday night. Let's do some headline news brought to you by our friends at Eternal Life Coin, eternallifecoin.com. What's going on?
From Just the News, my good buddy, John Solomon. John, if you're out there, big shout out for my man. I hope you,
your buddy.
Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Trump administration has secretly launched an intensive vetting process for hundreds of foreign scientists brought into the United States from countries of concern like China, using visas procured with the help of the National Institute of Health and other federal agencies. Officials have told Just the News. So I don't know how secret this thing is launched. I'm telling you about it. But the review involving intelligence and security agencies began weeks ago over concerns prior administrations did not adequately vet the backgrounds of scientists or their ties to actors like China's military or the Communist Party. This is mind-boggling to me that, once again, just the absolutely corrupted China Joe Biden administration was run really essentially by the Politburo. It's just so pathetic. But the initiative has taken on additional urgency after 3 Chinese scientists were arrested in the last month trying to smuggle into America dangerous pathogens like fungi and roundworms capable of destroying crops. Officials told Just the News that as many as 1,000 scientists from countries of concern, a large number specifically from China, have been identified inside NIH alone, prompting a monstrous review by the agency's Intelligence Security Office. And the Trump administration is committed to safeguarding America's national economic security. Taxpayer dollars should not and cannot fund foreign espionage against America's industrial base and research apparatus. This was the White House spokesman told John Solomon directly. So I could keep going on this story because this is kind of stuff that just makes me sick to my stomach. That where is the intelligence community? Where is people at NIH, who to me another corrupted organization from top to bottom? It might as well be USAID at this point. How disgusting these people operate their business. So I don't know. Again, Just the News doing their job better than everybody else.
All right. By the way, Slick, while Paul's getting the next story lined up, someone in the chat just brought up a good point. I don't know why I didn't think of this before. Said we should have a hotel on board to get like a discount cheap LFS6B audience rate for people who want to come into the warehouse on Friday night. Who could we do that with?
I'll talk to the guys across the street.
No. We don't want. No. We don't want. They're not going to have. They're not going to have.
They have the hourly rates.
Concealed carry across state lines.
That's an hotel motel over there.
No, come on, Slick. That's not what. Come on.
No, I wouldn't do that to our viewers. Of course, I would not do that to them.
We don't have a Four Seasons.
We got to talk to the Hilton Garden Inn.
Okay.
Next door is Casa de MS-13. Hope you're going over that.
Casa de Disease is more like it.
Yeah, Casa de Prostituto.
Yeah, we'll have to. That's a good idea, though. We'll get on that. We'll get on top of that and try to figure it out. We'll post it on. We'll post it on livefromstudio6b.com if we can make an arrangement or a partnership with somebody, so you can book it through there. So.
How many rooms you have in your house? You got a jacuzzi? Come on, Big D, come on. He's only about 15 minutes away.
Well, my son's leaving, so actually we'll have. But no, it's still going to be in his room. That might be tight.
So. Yeah, we got that big studio in there. Come on, put some guts out there. We can get 20 in there, no problem. 15-man jacuzzi he's got there. Oh man!
It's graduation tomorrow. I'm going to have it all. It's going to be all scoped out this weekend. I mean, I don't know if I have a room left come this weekend.
Oh, really?
So many
big
people
party,
there.
huh?
Well, no, there's no party going on.
Okay.
So like, don't worry. I didn't not invite you. I would have invited you to the party.
Won't be as surprising about that.
All right, let's. Paul, you have anything else in the news right now?
There's a few things here. Yeah, I don't know if you saw this. As NATO leaders gather for another summit, Mike Lee has introduced sweeping legislation to withdraw the United States from the alliance and force America's allies to pay their share, accusing European nations of relying on U.S. taxpayer funds. Did you see any of the clips today? Calling Trump daddy, the head of NATO.
I saw Rubio cracking up behind him.
Yeah, it was. I had that clip, but it was Fox related, so we can't put those dirtbags on us. So we don't want to. We don't want to sully. We don't want to sully the good name of Rav. With,
that's a little
faux news.
Strong, yeah.
No, come on. We can't. We got to take over them. We're way better. But I don't know if you saw this, but
120 proof.
Lee's latest bill said it's not a trusted organization, meaning is what he called NATO, not a trusted organization. The act would direct the president formally to notify NATO of U.S. withdrawal under Article 13 of the North Atlantic Treaty to fulfill the requirement for congressional authorization and prohibit U.S. taxpayer dollars from funding NATO's common budgets, including its civil and military programs. So that's the kind of stuff I like. I want less bureaucrats. I want less government, including this global entity that I believe is not in our best interest.
Yep. John Giacchio, hope I pronounced that right, John, on Facebook. Thanks for watching and commenting. Says tonight, Damon, I just wanted to tell you about the big, beautiful bill. Since you trusted Trump with the Iran situation, I think you should trust him on the bill. No. Because once he's straightened out America, it'll be so much revenue coming in, and who else knows what he has up his sleeve. We still have 3.5 more years with him at the helm. And I'm thankful for the 3.5 years. But no, the big, beautiful bill is a disaster. And it's not even as much about trusting Trump to me, because he's either going to sign it or veto it. It, unfortunately, is the 535 other losers, for the most part, that we've sent to Washington, D.C. to supposedly, at least on our side, even though I know everybody, it's the slim majorities. What are we going to do? I'm sorry. I cannot get on board, I don't care who the president is, with running $2 trillion deficits as just like okay, well, that's just what it is. Get used to it. No. I am not going to be a part of $5 trillion, the biggest debt ceiling hike in history, when we control all three houses and levers of government. No, not getting on board. I am not getting on board with funding stuff that Elon Musk and Doge found, reauthorizing it through this bill. No. I am not getting on board with the new Green Deal and the Inflation Reduction Act staying intact when we have the ability to get rid of them, but we don't have the will to get rid of them. No, sorry. So it's not happening. I will continue to speak about my feelings on this, which is it's a disaster. And we're spending our kids, our grandkids, their grandkids, and everybody else's grandkids into oblivion. I don't care what the Federal Reserve tells us about the state of the fiscal operating debt of the country. We are on a demolition course with reality, because the numbers only work until they don't. And pretty soon they're not going to work. $50 trillion in fiscal operating debt with supposed cutting of $1.5 trillion out of a $90 trillion 10-year budget is just not acceptable to me. I don't care who the president is, and it shouldn't be acceptable to you. If you voted Republican, unless you're a Democrat socialist only when it comes to spending, but you're a conservative when it comes to everything else, I don't know what to tell you. The bill sucks. That's just where
I get the point of you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So how much went to the Pentagon in this bill?
I don't know.
A lot. I know that it was a lot.
I can tell you this, though.
I don't understand all the pork in that. Like, why do we have to jam it with so much pork? And I can't stand some of the legislation in terms of no state can challenge the AI component of the bill. There's a lot of stuff that can chew up some liberty, too. So I think I spent a lot of time. I feel like you almost have to trust him at this point. So I don't know if I agree with you on this, only because at this point, what's the difference? I got to be honest with you.
What's the difference?
Yeah, I mean, to me, unless you're cutting the military, the $2 trillion that's going in the military, right? Isn't it like almost half that spending is there? I mean, we're not going to cut there.
We're talking about $90 trillion over 10 years.
Is that a lot?
And we're talking about running $2 trillion deficits right now.
It's more than these players make.
Yeah, but look, I got to be honest with you. I'm so numb to it all. The big Build Back Better and Big Beautiful Bill, all those B's, and sounds like the same thing repackaged. But what happens if we don't? Don't some economists think that everything's going to the dollar's going to cave in on itself?
I mean, I don't know if the dollar's going to cave in on itself. I don't think so. I don't see any. I mean, I know the real reset we're talking about in the Birch Gold, but I mean, I just don't see that happening. And personally, myself. But for the Fed to say we're not on a uncontrollable path, or whatever the hell he said it just the other day, just seems crazy to me.
It just feels like, honestly,
Damon is wrong. The numbers take into account tariffs and increased manufacturing. Also, they count tax reduction as spending. Okay, listen, we'll all be on the record with where we're at, and we'll see who's right.
Well, the truth is, I've watched so many debates on this, and my head is spinning on this. I don't know. I don't know how anybody has a crystal ball to see what's going to happen to this economy over the next, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10 years. 2030, the Agenda 2030 is still on the table, and it's what's coming next somewhere along the line is digital currency. And
you only have a number of times in history where you're going to control all three levers here to be able to make a real impact on the future spending of the country and the future debt that's going to be held by you. Right now is one of those moments, and quite frankly, in my estimation, we're squandering it with this bill. So if you don't think we're squandering it and you think it's great, that's fine too. You might end up being right. If you think we're going to grow our way out of it by taxing and tariffing, you might be right. I'm not one of them. All right, we'll wrap it up for a Wednesday night right after this.
There's a concerted effort to intimidate and censor conservative thinkers. The very freedoms secured by our Constitution are being threatened by the most liberal progressives America has ever seen. It seems like everything they do is to the detriment of our great nation. But there are plenty of patriots with the courage to stand up to the left. Join AMAC. AMAC is a voice for conservatives that cannot be ignored. Stand with over 2 million America-loving patriots by joining AMAC today.
Why aren't you getting results? Random workouts, overtraining muscles, completely missing others, wasted time. Don't do that. Do this. This is 25 minutes speed train. Follow me for just 25 minutes a day, 7 days a week, with minimal equipment, and get actual results.
Look at the definition. I didn't have these arms at high school.
Subscribe to Body in the next 24 hours for less than 50 cents a day and get 25-minute speed train free at bodywithaneye.com.
What do you do when your tire goes flat and there's no air anywhere to fix that? You reach for Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable lithium-ion power plant. So fast, so strong, and so convenient. It's like putting the power of an air compressor in the palm of your hand. Look, you can inflate all 4 tires of your car on a single charge, or inflate a bag full of soccer balls at practice. Bullseye Pro is so advanced, it has a built-in smart pressure digital sensor that gauges and automatically stops when the set tire pressure is reached. Plus, it can be 100% hands-free. You simply set the target pressure and walk away, keeping you out of harm's way. Bullseye Pro is lightweight, durable, and powerful enough to inflate this massive monster truck tire. Plus, it has 4 ultra-bright LED lights to safely inflate at night. Bullseye Pro comes with 3 custom air nozzles on board, so you can easily inflate pool toys, exercise balls, and more. Forget driving to the gas station. Bullseye Pro is your anywhere, anytime inflation station. Call or go online now and get the complete Bullseye Pro inflation system, all for the factory direct price of just $79.99. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free. That's right, free shipping. But to really inflate this offer, we'll give you a 50% discount on a second one.
You get it all. An incredible value for one low price. Call or go online to order now.
To order, call 1-800-976-9718 or go to getbullseyepro.com. So call 1-800-976-9718. That's 1-800-976-9718 or order online at getbullseyepro.com. Order now.
Thirteenth to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday. Real America's Voice, 103.9 LI News Radio. If you're listening on 103.9, make sure you come down to the America First Warehouse on Friday night.
Nice.
Doors open at 7:25. Show starts at 8. We take the stage around 7:50. Harry on the Highway takes the stage at 7:45. That's 5 minutes of your life you won't get back. But then we hit the stage at 7:50. We have some fun, and then we go live at 8 o'clock.
And then we do after party. Big D leaves in about 30 seconds, and the rest of us are there.
That's not true. That is not true.
Man, you hightailed that the other night. You might
it's like, I got a thing. I gotta go. I got a thing. 10:30? What do you got a thing?
Exactly.
Oh, there's no cigars. I gotta go.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, let's do some more sports news. We'll wrap it up for a Wednesday. We'll start with sports. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, one more sweep of the baseball scoreboard. Big D, Mets over the Braves, 7-1, top of the ninth. Looking good for the Mets there. And the Yankees also looking good right now, 7-1 over the Reds, top of the ninth as well. Twins 2-0 over the Mariners, bottom 8, top 9. Rays lead the Royals 3-0. Cubs over the Cardinals, 8-0, top of the 8th, middle of the 6th. Astros over the Phillies, 1-0. No score. Dodgers and Rockies, top of the 6th there. Top of the 1st, just underway. Marlins and Giants, no score there. I gave you the finals earlier tonight on the other ball games. Get to a couple of quick stories. Here's one for you. Alicia Lehmann, Swiss national women's team crushed 7-1 by 14-year-old boys. Dylan Gwynn at Breitbart. A team of 14-year-old boys had no problem going through the Swiss women's national team as they defeated them 7-1 ahead of the Euro 2025 qualifiers. The Swiss women's team included Alicia Lehmann, recently voted world's sexiest footballer. However, even Lehmann didn't provide enough of a distraction for the FC Luzern under-15 boys team, who instilled much doubt among the Swiss before they host the Euros next month. In fact, according to GB News, the Swiss attempted to conceal the embarrassing defeat from the public, but were undone when one of the players from the boys team posted a video from the game on TikTok. The video garnered approximately 70,000 views before being removed from the platform, GB News reported. One possible consolation for the Swiss women is that they played 26 players, far higher than the norm throughout the game. For example, the team's third-string goalie, Nadine Bohe, also saw considerable playing time. So it's entirely probable they would not have yielded 7 goals in a contest where they played only their best players. The Swiss women have played 2 other U15 boys teams during the tune-up for the Euro 2025. They lost to FC Solothurn by a final score of 2-1, but managed to defeat FC Biel by the same score. I gotta tell you, those 14, 15-year-old kids, they can play. I mean, so that's quite the challenge that they were up for. But very interesting there. I thought that was kind of entertaining myself, but just the same. And, well, one more story. Well, kind of a sad story a little bit. Fan banned indefinitely after making derogatory comments about Diamondbacks star late mother, sources say. Ketel Marte sobbed on the field in response to the remarks. Ryan Canfield of Fox News. The fan who yelled derogatory comments about Arizona Diamondbacks star Ketel Marte's mother during the team's 4-1 win over the Chicago White Sox at Wright Field Tuesday is banned indefinitely from all MLB ballparks, a source confirmed to Fox News Digital. The 22-year-old fan admitted to taunting Marte and was remorseful, according to ESPN. Marte, 31, was left in tears after the fan yelled derogatory comments about his late mother, Epelita Valdez, who died in a car crash in the Dominican Republic in 2017. We commended the White Sox for taking immediate action and removing the fan. MLB said in a statement to Fox News Digital, MLB did not comment on what the fan told Marte when asked by Fox News Digital. So terrible, man. These fans, they just take it too far and too much, and I'm glad to see the MLB taking action.
Speaking of taking it too far, did you see the story about Matt Gaetz on the plane?
No.
It says some punk decides that he's going to talk. A screenshot as he was sitting behind him in a row, and Gaetz was sitting, I guess, on a flight somewhere, and he was talking to his mom.
Yeah.
Whether it was on the phone or on text, and some punk behind him decided he was going to try to shoot the screen and then reported on it or something on social media. What a punk!
A punk.
Yeah, smack the daylights out of that kid.
That's it.
And by the way, I only bring that up because I actually read the story, and The story of Gates' mom is pretty funny in the story.
Boy, Gates.
She was really going to bat for President Trump. Yeah. Telling her son, "Hey, you lay off there, pal."
Oh, that's good. That's funny.
So, but no, I mean, come on, that's just ridiculous. I mean, that's so ridiculous.
And Matt Gaetz got pretty railroaded. There's a lot of evidence. There was a lot of just smear campaigns about like the child crap and the father nailing the lion. Like he just. He got railroaded too. So
he sitting behind him on a plane, and you I mean, come on.
So any news about him, it's like, when
that's a wrap for me, Big D.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Paul, you got anything else in the news that we haven't covered?
Well,
you want to play this clip of this moron, huh?
I just think it was funny, but we don't have to do it if you don't.
I got it right here.
It's just so stupid.
Is this from today?
And then on a high note.
Here's the Democrats' front runner to be the nominee in 2028, Jasmine Crockett today. Here's what she had to say.
Since we're talking about integrity, I'm confused as to why my Republican colleagues aren't talking about the lack of integrity when it comes to the president's family's visas. Let me remind y'all that Melania, the First Lady, a model, and when I say model, I'm not talking about Tyra Banks, Cindy Crawford, or Naomi Campbell applied for and was given an EB-1 visa.
Yeah, you're right. She's way, way heads and tails above all three of them. You're absolutely right that you're not even close.
When I say model, I'm not talking about Tyra Banks, Cindy Crawford, or Naomi Campbell applied for and was given an EB-1 visa.
Right in the middle.
And what that stands for is an Einstein visa. Now, y'all that don't know, let me tell you how you receive an Einstein visa. You're supposed to have some sort of significant achievement, like being awarded a Nobel Peace Prize or a Pulitzer, being an Olympic medalist, or having other sustained achievements.
Can I blow up my own clips here, Aaron? How do I do that? I don't have the bomb. Can you? No, you can't blow
I watched this clip. Watching it a second time, it was
Aaron,
painful.
Go ahead. It didn't work. Yeah, I can't blow up my own.
There you go.
Earlier the show would have had any energy.
That was a delayed new.
Funny to make fun of her. This girl went to finishing school.
I mean, the thing is, though, I don't really want to make fun of her because I would love her to be the nominee and AOC to be her running mate.
Yeah,
my God.
In 2028, AOC +3.
Oh boy,
as the president. One of my favorite new things the president is doing is is referring to Chuck Schumer as our first Palestinian senator. Have you seen this?
He
calls Schumer the washed-up Palestinian senaper.
Didn't Chucky get rushed to the hospital or something today?
I think dehydration, I heard. Yeah, Trump's sucking the life out of him. He keeps hammering him, that's why.
That's it.
So
I know you like that suit. That's a straight up sequence.
Oh, that's beautiful. I know.
Beautiful.
So one last thing before we go, and I don't have time to do the whole thing, but again, whether you like the big beautiful bill, whether you don't like it, whether you think the whole thing stinks, whether you think part of it stinks, everybody will make their own determination. The one thing we all did, and we all know for sure, is we voted for President Trump. We did not vote for some non-elected person like the great Wizard of Oz behind the curtain that we all can't see. And as Daniel Horowitz says today over at The Blaze, the GOP holds the gavel, Trump holds the mandate, the parliamentarian holds, nothing. So why are the Republicans acting like she runs the Senate?
Righto.
And what's the reason they're doing that? So we don't have time to get into this tonight, but it is a good look into the current state of your Republican Party. And why are they? Why are they doing this? And are they looking at it as, it's almost running cover for us in trying to justify why we're leaving all the crap in this bill?
Right.
So we'll take a look at that, but not tonight. Right now, I want to tell you that, as always, we salute our military, active and active, police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines protecting us. Thanks, everybody on the show. Aaron Frank, great job as always. I'll see you Friday at the America First Warehouse. The boys will see you tomorrow night here. I'll be at graduation. Have a great night, though. We'll see you tomorrow night right here live from Studio 6B.
There's nothing worse than losing your dog before their time. So why do so many dog foods contain awful things a human would never eat? To save his pets, world-famous veterinarian Dr. Marty knew he had to change what was in their bowl.
That's why I created Dr. Marty Nature's Blend, my breakthrough formula that's changed everything about dog food.
Nature's Blend contains nothing but all-natural ingredients, designed to help dogs with everything from digestive issues to itching and paw licking, even moving around better. And that's because Nature's Blend is freeze-dried. So instead of destroying the nutrients with high heat, we gently preserve them, and you'll see the difference in your dog.
Take it from a veterinarian with over 50 years of experience saving dogs' lives. I have never seen a food make this much impact on a dog's health.
Such a huge difference in her health. More energy, more playful, no more pooping issues. He's healthier, he looks better.
Dr. Marty has thousands of 5-star reviews. And for a limited time, get up to 54% off Dr. Marty Nature's Blend, plus a free gift with our special TV offer. Call or go to drmartypets.com/TV. That's drmartypets.com/TV.
They're called ball hammocks by Shinesty. Soft, sweat-wicking, breathable underwear with a supportive pouch built in. You don't realize you need new underwear until you try these. Love your first pair or they're free. Upgrade to ball hammocks at shinesty.com.
This right here is confidence in a bottle. It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face. And what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes. And I did this to my father. We were at home, so we applied it to his under eye bags, and let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view, and now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles.
At our $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work after your first application. Call the number on your screen.
Call 1-800-854-0295.
Funerals can easily cost $9,000 or more, but government benefits pay only $255. If you're between 40 and 85, get your free Funeral Advantage Guide. Help keep your family financially protected with up to $20,000 cash immediately.
It's so easy. Just answer a few simple health questions.
Funeral Advantage is something we'll all need. There's no risk or obligation.
Call 800-849-7919.
The bathroom of your dreams is only a phone call away with BCI Bath and Shower. We can make your ordinary bath and shower extraordinary. This is not a cookie cutter design. This is a complete custom build that will fit your every need. And
There's a new lib protest that I actually agree with, but not for the reasons that they're actually protesting. Also, NYC elected another socialist rich kid, among other massive flaws with him there, but I guess we'll see what happens in the general election. Also, remember the door that fell off of the Alaska flight? Just mid-flight door falls off? Well, there's actually a report out on that, and I think the findings are pretty interesting. All that and more coming up on this episode of Turning Point Tonight. My name is Jobob. Thanks so much for tuning in. Together, we are charting the course of America's cultural comeback. This is Turning Point Tonight. Now, before we get to that in our fantastic panel, I want to tell you about this really interesting story out of Atlanta. A couple kids were arrested for tearing a pride flag at a Rainbow Square sidewalk intersection. And I say that because that's literally the only thing that happened. Now, granted, it was late at night. Somebody called 911, not just the police, called the emergency police line for kids tearing pride flags. Then Atlanta PD sent out a squad car and arrested 4 of them. 2 of them are still on the loose, which is wording that I think is crazy for this particular crime. Okay, so then they were charged with what the police chief or the press conference said was criminal mischief, but that's not what the actual press release said. They were charged with a couple things, but all stemming from criminal property damage, which is also interesting because in the state of Georgia, criminal property needs to be exceeding $500. In other words, unless those flags, I don't know, had some sort of gold in them, I don't think it qualifies here. The bottom line is what this looks like is that the alphabet mafia is taking something that they don't like, which is tearing the pride flag, and finding a way to turn it into a crime somehow. And obviously the context here is that, well, if you can burn an American flag and that's legally protected under the constitutional free speech, well, then why is tearing a pride flag, quote unquote, a crime? Well, I don't think it is. And I'm really curious to see how this pans out because the DA is also potentially looking at tacking on a hate crime, which means this could be a several-year prison sentence. Blows my mind, and I hope this gets enough light to make it known to the American people. And here to comment on that and so much more is LA Central Committee member Elizabeth Barco-Hanna and Turning Point contributor Savannah Hernandez. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, Jobob, for having us.
Thank you.
Elizabeth, I want to get to you on this tearing of a pride flag here. I think you probably know a thing or two about the law. Is that illegal? Or I don't know. To me, just on the base of it, it looks like they're trying to find something that makes the destruction of an inanimate object that's not worth a ton of money wrong somehow.
I like your comparison of, we have the First Amendment that allows people to burn and desecrate the American flag. But also, just being someone from LA, I want to import part of the criminal code from Atlanta into LA because one of the charges that these teenagers are being charged with is prowling. We definitely have a prowling problem in LA. We also have a hate crime problem. Right after October 7th, there was a gentleman who was participating in a pro-Israel rally who was hit in the head. He fell down and injured himself by a pro-Palestinian protester. And we still don't have hate crime charges in that case. So whatever is going on in Atlanta, I would like to use some of that here in Los Angeles. We need it.
Yeah, well, maybe if that guy identifies as something that he is not, maybe you can expedite those charges being brought upon that particular individual. Savannah, the criminal property damage implies that, okay, well, this is stolen. And fine, if they stole that flag, which, by the way, nobody knows if they did or where they would have come from. But let's just say they stole the flag. The typical fine is like $250, not condoning them stealing it at all. But at the same time, $250 and a fine is way better than a couple years possibly in jail. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are this is an example of why local politics is so important, because even though we have maybe an administration, right, federally that we really like, at the local level, you still have, various politicians and officials who want to make an example out of who is in charge. And the people in charge are the ones who decide that the LGBTQ religion is the most important of all. And if you want to burn an American flag, well, that's just 1A. But if you burn an LGBTQ flag, you've committed a hate crime and you have to go to jail for 10 years because you're now a Nazi. Okay. So this is why local politics is so important. And you need to pay attention with what's going on in your cities and what's going on at a state level, because these are the people that unfortunately are still in charge of many of America's major cities.
Totally. Yeah. And that's a local stuff is where things actually happen. Speaking of local, I know none of us live there, but New York City elected in the primary for the Democratic nomination a literal socialist. Savannah, I think you probably have some insight here, having dealt with a lot of these people. He also appears to be a rich kid. He went to a school in Manhattan that now costs $66,000 a year for elementary school. It seems to be that all of these socialist people that want to implement government-run grocery stores and quote-unquote cap rent all happen to be rich kids. And you, I think, had an interaction with another one of those protesting in the streets, stopping black people from getting to work. That also happened to be a rich kid. Is that kind of the norm with this?
Oh, absolutely. New York is basically a bunch of rich kids and Nepo babies who have no idea how money works, which is why they're like, we're just going to give everybody groceries for free because that's how government and money works. No, it's not. It never has. And that's why, I mean, New York is already essentially, kind of like mini socialism. If you go over there, we've seen that with the illegal immigration program and the billions and billions of dollars they spent on giving illegal immigrants free healthcare, free food, free shelter, blah, blah, blah. Take your pick. This exact same program, let's say it's applied to Americans, it still doesn't work out at the end of the day because it's the taxpayer who, of course, is shouldering the burden for this. And again, these rich kids have no idea how this monetary system actually works. And in long term, this is going to be absolutely horrible. So, in terms of New York, I'm really not surprised that this happened because if it's not the educated liberals who are grandstanding with their vote by voting for Zohran Mamdani, you know what, Jobob, it's like if I can't even pronounce your name. If it's hard to pronounce your name, you shouldn't be allowed to run for, public office in the United States of America. That's my viewpoint on that. But, New York, good luck and have fun with all of that.
Constitutional amendment. If Savannah Hernandez can't pronounce her name, you can't be in public office. I don't know if that one's going to fly. But Elizabeth, I thought this was interesting, especially because the libs love to say or play the race card. Hispanic voters in a recent poll that came out right before the election, and I would imagine the exit polls would reflect the same thing. Hispanic voters and black voters really didn't like this guy. They went with Cuomo, who again wasn't a great choice either, admittedly, but at least he's the sane policy choice, guys. It was white liberals and Asians that pushed this crazy person over the edge. I don't know. How does that kind of debunk the whole race component to all of the things that the libs accuse us of?
Well, it wasn't just race that you could see a division. It was education. So these elite liberals who we have a liberal elite problem in this country. This election completely solidified the Islamo-Marxist takeover of the Democrat Party, followed by Chuck Schumer, the highest ranking Democrat, the senator from New York, just completely endorsing this guy's election. Takeover complete. And I, fully expect that we will shortly be seeing the Democrats throwing their dissidents off the Empire State Building very, very soon.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that's not the case, but that is something that it would appear that guy maybe even aligns with a little bit ideologically, which is terrible. Speaking of terrible things, Savannah, I thought this was really interesting. The AMA, the American Medical Association, and the American Academy of Pediatrics are doubling down on the trans kids thing with the Tennessee law that was upheld by the Supreme Court saying, yeah, you can't give minors puberty blockers and quote unquote gender affirming care, which is words that they made up. The two of the biggest medical associations are kind of saying, yeah, you still should be able to. They're not taking the message, they're not taking the hint. They're doubling down. What's going on in their minds?
Well, this isn't surprising since back in 2021, the American Medical Association was also advocating to take gender off of birth certificates because, gender could be harmful to trans children, which, by the way, don't exist. This is, again, a medical ideology that is being pushed to essentially experiment on children who are the most innocent and vulnerable in our entire society. So it truly is really disturbing just to see an entire association that's like, well, we really don't like that you're not allowing us to experiment on children. This is the American Medical Association, always has been. And Jobob, where are we? How did we get to this point in America?
I don't know. Crazy people have taken over. One of those guys being the president. Elizabeth, the president of the AMA, said this: it opens the door for future intrusions into patient care and harmful government interference. I guess implying that if people, I don't know, if you sprain your ankle, you might not be able to get the health care that you need because kids that are confused because their parents probably confused them don't get to take the drugs that they want but also shouldn't have. So watch out.
That explanation is word for word what they say in the abortion arena as well. It is the same exact. So if you have a group of people who believe that a mother has the right to kill her own child, then of course she has the right to do whatever, consent for whatever to the body of her alive child. These are the logical extensions of these arguments, and they result in absurd things like chopping the healthy body parts off of children, completely mutilating them, completely creating pharmaceutical patients for life, because once you start this process, it's very difficult to go off of it. And it's not just the American Medical Association that's been captured. It's also the Academy, the Pediatric Academy in America. All of the, this all came from originally from Europe, and all of the European, in the UK and in other countries, they are all completely backing off of this. But not in America. They're doubling down because it's a moneymaker for them. And then that money gets recycled into the party, and then that money comes back in through government grants. So there's definitely this corruption component to it, and they're harming children.
Yeah, it seems to all come back to the money thing. They want lifetime patients that are going to be addicted to whatever drugs they prescribe them. Savannah and Elizabeth will be back after the break to discuss that Alaskan flight where the door fell off. You never want that to happen, and there's a new report out on that, and a protest that the libs are doing, a boycott that I actually agree with. Not for the reasons that they think, but